Information really changed my life. I've been in America 25 years. I've been an entrepreneur since I remember. I used to sell fruit in Colombia. I used to have a few businesses here. I always like to have my own business, but I never knew how to manage money. I never knew how to save money. I knew how to make money, but I didn't know how to keep money for me. So when I first started listen to this book, Saving Your Future, this information, this campaign back on 2014 really changed my life. What I didn't do between, let's say, 2000 came to America to 2014 when I joined WSB, from 2014 to 2025, financially speaking, everything changed. I have no debt. I have proper protection, over 4 million for me, 4 million for my husband or my family. I also have a good emergency fund for over a year, and I'm preparing for my retirement. So, guys, if you want to change your life, if you want to know how to prospect, if you want to know how to talk to people, and especially if you want to really change your financial life forever and ever and leave a good legacy for your family, you need to be very focused, because today we're going to learn a little bit more how you also can be saving your future presentation. So with my coach, my mentor, the one that has been helping me for the last 10 plus years, I wanted to introduce no other than Dewey Trong here in Dallas Financial Center. Let me give you a high five for him.
Wow. Latinos are on fire. Is that right, guys? Hey, first of all, good evening, everyone. My name is Zui Trung here. I'm at the Dallas Central Financial Center, and I'm proud to be your presenter and host today for our webinar. So a little bit about myself. Today's a special night tonight. We're all coming together as one team on the East Coast. There's another one that's going to happen on the West Coast in about an hour from now, 2 hours from now. So if you miss anything that I share with you today, you can come back to the webinar and get the best of the best, which is from Alicia Wynn from our WSB head coach's office there in San Jose, California. All right. So first of all, let's go ahead and get started today. First of all, I know we have a lot of new guests in the crowd. You're going to be listening to this to the first time. Let me share a little bit about myself. My name is Zui Trung. I'm here in the Dallas, Texas location at the Dallas Central Financial Center. I have been with this campaign for now 27 years of my life. And I know I look 21. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. No, I've been here 27 years of my life in this campaign. I fell in love with this campaign. I was invited here by my best friend 27 years ago. I used to be with an investment group that we part-owned restaurants, Chinese buffet restaurants. And after he invited me about 8 times. I never believed in it. I thought it was one of those things that you join, you're going to sell something. And I really, really didn't want to do any of that. So I thought at that time I was making very good money. I was a multiple six-figure earner, take home already. So I thought life was good at 26 years old. But he kept on inviting me, kind of like the new guests that we have sitting in many of the 300 plus financial centers that we have on these calls, that you're sitting there right now. You were invited here today. Or if you're on a Zoom call, you're at home right now, one of your best friends told you, hey, jump on the call, listen to this information, and you're not even sure what it is. That was me 27 years ago. So when I heard about this, whenever on the 8th time I decided to show up, long story short, I showed up and I said, this is about financial literacy. Everybody needs to learn about this, especially myself. I graduated high school in this country. They did not teach me about how money works. In our schooling system, we don't learn about taxes. We don't learn about how money works. We don't learn about life insurance. We don't learn about FICO score. We don't learn any of these financial matters. So this is something that's a responsibility that I saw on myself, that I have to learn this information, because I found out it's not about how much money you make, but it's also about how much money you keep. So today, or your time here today, all I want you to do is just listen to the information. We're not here to sell you anything. We're not here to make you do anything. I want you to listen to this information. And if you find this information useful, you say, you know what, Dewey? I'd like to learn a little bit more about this. We invite you to ask the person who invited you to have a sit down, go over, have a conversation, and maybe some of our financial solutions or something we can help you with. Or you might say, hey, Dewey, you know what? This might not be for me. But you know what? My children, they need to listen to this information. My brother-in-law needs to listen to this. So somehow, some way, sharing financial literacy is so important. So for your time today, just listen. At the very end of our presentation, which we're going to be here about 40, 45 minutes, is that you're going to get the opportunity to fill out a survey card and tell us what you want to learn about, okay? And if you feel the survey that I did a good job today, you can Zelle me some money. I'm just kidding, okay? You know, you can put $100 bill in there. No, I'm just joking with you, okay? But let's get started. Let me share my screen here today. And if some of the information I miss, okay? So computer sharing, audio off. Here I go. All right. Let me do this. Give me 1 minute, everybody. Okay. All right, are we good? Everyone see my screen? All right, so going hand in hand with this presentation, I want to share you two items here. The first one is our Saving Your Future book here. And the Saving Your Future book is, I look at this as a reference point to all the major financial topics in America and Canada. I look at this right here. A lot of times, a lot of families want to learn about financial literacy, but they have no idea where to go to. How in the world do we live in a world right now that we have information at our fingertips? We have Google, we have Yahoo, now we got ChatGPT, we got AI, we got Notebook LM, we got all kinds of things at our fingertip, but there are more and more families that are living paycheck to paycheck. This is a reference point. If you haven't seen this book yet, get with the person who invited you so you can get a copy of this. Secondly, what will go with this one is going to go with our financial education workshops. Now, the financial education workshop, as I go through the presentation, I'm going to hit on some numbers in here, and you're going to want to write that down. But this is part of our workshop here, and these two pieces right here is what you need, the basic foundation of getting everything started, okay? So let's go ahead and get started right here today. I want to talk to you about the basic principles of building a financial foundation, because this is about saving our future. You know, because right now, no one else out there in the financial industry is helping middle America. We believe that here at WSB, we're going to share with you this great information. And talking about that, let's talk about some of the challenges we face out there these days. So if you look at this right here, it's happening all around us. Take a look right here. You know, the challenges right here is that, number one, a lot of families out there, Angie, they have no budget. There are a lot of families that spend a lot of money. They have zero goals. They live paycheck to paycheck. And they have increasing debt and not interested in their financial future. Now, to me, Apple, I don't think families out there are not interested in their financial future. I believe they think about it all the time, but I believe that we don't put time towards it. It's kind of like if you had a trip to the Bahamas, you would spend months and months planning it. You're going to do airline, you're going to do hotel, you're going to do the parasailing, you're going to do dining. But whenever it comes to our own financial future, when we ask someone to sit down and plan, what happened? I'm too busy. This is where it comes in. So when all of these right here compound on each other, bad habits and poor decisions add up. It's kind of like our health. If you don't take care of your health and you eat a big old cheeseburger every single day, sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you. Kind of like financial matters too. So the question is this, is that what do the wealthy know that the rest of us do not know? You know, I thought I knew about money. I thought that you go to work, you make money, you have money, you spend the money, and whatever you had left over, you try to save. And I never save anything. So talking about one of the challenges facing out there that's a big deal right now is what? People are living longer and longer and longer. You know, we live in what we call the sandwich era now. The sandwich era is very simple. Like myself, I'm 52 years old. So I have to take care of my growing children. How many of you guys out there have to take care of your growing children? And they seem like every single year they get a little older, they become a little bit more expensive. How many of you guys just had a newborn baby? You just bought them a new shoe, new sneakers, and all of a sudden, about 1 month later, they don't even fit it anymore. What about our parents? Doesn't it seem like they're aging a little faster? So we're sandwiched in the middle that we take care of our children that's growing so fast, and we also take care of our parents that's aging faster. Now, but if you ask the question, is that what about us? Are you preparing for yourself? Or do you want your children to take care of you when you get older? Because these are the things that's happening. You look right here, there's more single parents these days. You look at increasing health concerns, mobility movement. Who's going to take care of mom? Are we going to switch back and forth? This is a very big deal right now. And we have a workshop for health and wealth, and you should join our workshop for this. So in talking about what we do in our business here, this is our main financial literacy campaign right here, is building a strong financial foundation. This is the bottom line of everything. It's not about the financial products. It's not about an IRA, which stock to pick, which one, what mutual fund to get, who's the best investment guy. You yourself must understand how to build this strong financial foundation. And it starts out with number one, proper protection at the bottom, because you have to protect yourself in case of two things. Number one, if I die too soon, I go visit the man above, and it's not negotiable. Guess what happened? You have to have life insurance, Catherine, to take care of your family. But what happened if you live long? But nowadays, people are living longer and longer and longer. But what's happening? Are they getting healthier, Apple, or are they getting sicker? What happens if they get sick? They have cancer, critical illness, chronic illness, some type of heart attack or a stroke. The man above doesn't take you, but guess what? Now you have to worry about taking care of your family while you're alive, because it's very difficult to think about recovery whenever you're laying in the hospital, because your job is not going to keep you on the payroll for many months. So how can we focus on recovery? So you have to have protection for your family. You are the most important person to your family. No one else. Not that Mercedes in the parking lot, not that beautiful home you have, not the beautiful paintings. The 120-inch TV ain't going to help you. It is you, the main guy, the main woman of the house. Protection's number one. Number two is debt management. Number three is creating an emergency fund. If you want to learn how to get out of debt, you have to understand that debt is an everlasting thing right now. So we have a workshop. It's called workshop number 2, increase cash flow and reduce your debt, manage your debt. Workshop 2, emergency fund. You have to create an emergency fund because you never know when it happens, right? When it rains, it pours. So emergency fund, we talk about in workshop 5. And then last but not least is investment protection, because why? I figured out something, and I think everyone can agree with me. Our children is not our 401k. Is that true? That's true, right? Our children is not our 401k. So we have to take care of ourselves in the future, because it's all about learning about and in investment, it's going to be in workshop 6. So if you want to learn about any of these topics in detail, go to one of our financial education workshops. Protection is workshop 3, debt management workshop 2, emergency fund is workshop 5, and investment is workshop 6. So it's all about this learning. Number 1, you have to understand my current situation. This is my situation. This is how much proper protection I have, debt I have. What is your current situation? You know, many people do not know their current situation. They don't know how much insurance they have. They don't even know what kind of insurance they have. They don't even know, they think their emergency fund is their credit card. And you need to know where I need to be. Once you write down where you're at, then you can know where I need to go. And to build up that financial future, here's some rule of thumb, some formulas right here. 10 times your income in proper protection. Debt, get it to 0. 6 months plus of your monthly income. 20 times your income for retirement. So these are the things that you have to pay attention to. Just like building a strong home. You have to build the home from the ground up. But as you notice, a lot of families out there, let's just ask yourself, the first thing we pay attention to is investment. The first thing you get a job, do you buy life insurance? No. What do? 401k. And then what do you do after that? You get some debt. You know, so the house right here is opposite. So you have, this is the basic foundation right here, because if you don't build it strong, your financial home will not be strong either. Now, this is a concept called the X-curve concept. I call it the concept of life. It's very simple. And what it says right here, from top going down to the bottom, from left to right, we look right here from top to bottom, it says that when I'm young, I don't have a lot of money. I have a lot of responsibility. I have young children. I have a mortgage. I have their education. I got debts. I have to take care of a lot of things. But as time goes on, you got to bring that curve down to 0 as fast as possible. Because why? Ultimately, when you get older, you retire, you don't want to still have a $500, $1,000 loan. You don't want your children, you don't want to still take care of those kids. You want them grown up, you want them moved out, right? So you have to bring that curve down 0 fast as possible. On the other hand, there's another curve that goes from the left to the right, from bottom to higher. And what that curve is your wealth curve. Because it says this, is that when I'm young, I don't have a lot of wealth. But I have to build up wealth while I bring down my responsibility at the same time, because ultimately in the future, I have to have a lot of assets making money work for me. But if you don't pay attention to this, things can happen. Let me share you this. So we have a formula to figure out how much protection you need. It's a very simple formula, and it's in your SYF book, or you can go to workshops for that on workshop 3. DIME, debt, income, mortgage, education is what your insurable need is. But there's also a formula for building wealth. This is the formula. You got to have money. You got to give it some time. There is no get-rich-quick schemes in this company. Everything will take time, build over time. And then either you have a positive return or negative return. And then after that, good old inflation and Uncle Sam, taxes. Whatever you have left over is your wealth. So I look at this right here. If you don't understand this formula, how do you understand money? We look at this right here, we say, but Dewey, if you don't pay attention to this curve can actually not go down, but it can go where? It can go right back up. Why do people have to buy a new home every 5 to 6 years? What happened if you remarry at 50 years old and you marry a young girl, Darren, and then she wants young kids? Your curve actually not go down, but it goes where? It goes right back up again. So you have to pay attention to this. Now, talking about this is talking about controlling debt. Debt is out of control now, especially after COVID. When COVID hit, many people did not have an emergency fund, so they thought their credit cards was my emergency fund. So we have a program, well, it's a public program out there. It's called debt roll-up, snowball debt, whatever you want to call it. But if you have a strategic way of getting out of debt, you can get out of debt faster. If you look at this chart right here, did you know $100 can dramatically save time and reduce your debt? If you look at this list right here, all you do is just list down the largest balance first and work your way down. And then you tackle all the minimum payments, you write it down, and you take an extra $100, you pay the bottom debt first, and you start eliminating, and whatever you have left over, you roll it to the next one. You eliminate that credit card, you move it to the next one. See, if you don't have a strategic plan, which most people's strategic plan is this: if my minimum is $30, I pay $50. If my minimum is $50, I pay $70. If my minimum is $136, I'll pay $180. We pay little by little all of these debts, and we notice at the end of the month or the end of 2 to 3 months, nothing ever goes away. It looks about the same. So you feel like you never get ahead in life on it. But if you work with us and have a strategic way of paying off debt, imagine this. Typical family, 30 years to get out of debt. We can get you out of debt in 17 years. Now, is credit card companies going to teach you this? They say on the very bottom, fine print, that says, if you need help managing your debt, call us. But it's so small, you can't even see it. We put it out there really bold. And if you want to learn about this, go to workshop number 2. I encourage you to take the workshop several times. Now, let's talk about how money works. I look at this right here is this the rule of compound effect is called the rule of 72. The rule of 72 says it's very simple. If you take 72 divided by your interest rate will give you how many years it takes your money to double. So let's use an example right here. Let's say this is a great bank giving you 6% rate of return. 72 divided by 6 equals 12 years. So every 12 years, my money's going to double one time. So let's say your mama gave you $10,000. You put it in this account 6%. And then every 12 years, your money double one time. So it's 12, 20,000. You get me? 12 more years is 24, 40,000. 12 more years is 36, is now $81,000. Okay, better than $10,000. I got $81,000. But what happens if you go out there, you do a little more research, you find out you can go out there and get something, let's say 8% rate of return. You know, you get an 8%, so that's a 2% increase. Is that right? 2%. So with the 2% increase, money doubles every what? 9 years. So now you're going 20, 40, 80, $160,000. Here's the deal. Most people, Apple, when they think about 2% increase, they think it's not a big deal. But over time, it can actually double your money. What happens if you go out there and you get 10%? You keep up with the equity markets, ETF, S&P 500. You keep up with the marketplace. Let's say 10% rate of return. 7.2 years. Money doubles every 7.2 years. So now money's doubling what? Faster. So you got 7, 15, 22, 29, 36, $309,000. Isn't that a big deal? Yes or no? I look at it this way. This is the difference between a family who does not understand money and a family who understands how money works. All it is the knowledge, because it doesn't cost you anything. It's just knowledge. And I look at this as it says this: if you do not understand how to make money work for you, we will always work for money for the rest of our life. Now let's look at this. If you save $100 and you get 5% interest, you make $5. Is that right? But who's coming knocking at your door? Our favorite uncle. All of your uncle is my uncle too, okay? So let's say it's 25%. You're going to pay $1.25 on income taxes. You got $103.75 left. And then we have what we call the silent killer on money, which we have no control over, is called inflation. Let's assume inflation's at 3%. So 3% on that is $3 off that. So you have $100.75. So that's what we call your real rate of return. So the rule of thumb here is very simple. You have to get at least 5% interest to keep up with inflation and taxes. So ask yourself this question: how many accounts do you have right now that is below 5%? Now, let's talk about this slide. I love this slide. I tell you, this is probably the #1 slide for me, because when I was 24 years old, a long time ago, I used to make very good money, multiple six-figure, but I was very good, just like a lot of us out there, at spending every single dollar. It's almost like if you have extra money, you gotta spend it. You know, so all the money we make, the more money you make, the more money you what? You spend. You know, and that was me. So a lot of time these days we ask ourselves, Dewey, I don't know what happened. Ask yourself this question. How come I work overtime? How come I work extra hours? How come I drive an Uber? I'm dealing with people I don't even want to talk to. I'm doing all these extra side things. But at the end of the month, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I made extra money. I made more money, Apple, but I don't have the money. Why is that? Let's take a look at this. Most families should set aside 10% of their income. And if I ask the family to save $500 a month, $500 for the husband, $500 for the wife, most families, what do they say? I can't do it. I got 3 little greedy kids that want my money. They want Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, they want all these things. You know, I got to take care of my mortgage. I got to take care of my family. I don't have the money. I don't know where the money's at. So I believe it's not about the $500, but here's where it's at. It's at $17 a day. Think about it. The first thing when people wake up, you got to get out of the house. Where do you go first? Where do most people go? Where do most people go? Starbucks. The beautiful green cups. I think it's green. Green cups. You go in there, you get a Starbucks. How much is a Starbucks out there? Everyone in the crowd participate. How much is an average Starbucks? If you live in Texas, an average Starbucks is $8. If you live in California, because you got the beautiful sun to go with the beautiful coffee, you'll probably pay about $10 or more. So that's already $8 for coffee. But here's the deal. When you walk out of a Starbucks, can you just walk out with a cup of coffee? What do you have to have? What do you have to have? You have to have a biscuit. You got to have a sandwich, man. I got to have a sandwich, egg McMuffin with all this because you know what? It doesn't look cool if I walk into my office and I only got a cup of coffee. I don't have any sandwich. I have to have both. You know, you got to drink coffee and eat and then drink coffee. How can I work if I don't eat? Is that right? But think about it. That sandwich is $6. Breakfast time alone, we already burned about $12 to $13. And you know what? We haven't even got to lunch yet. We haven't even talked about happy hour. We haven't talked about picking up the kids, because when you pick up the kids, do they want to eat your African food? No, they want Chick-fil-A. Mama, Daddy, I don't want fufu. No more fufu. You know what I want? I want Chick-fil-A. I want McDonald's. I want this stuff. Every single time you drive through that drive-through, $25, $30. So you wonder where your money's at? If you want to learn how to manage your money better, you got to go to workshop 1 and also workshop 2, because we're going to show you what $2 here, $3 there, $5 all adds up to big money. So let's talk about $17 a day. What does that mean? With an 8% account, 30 years later, that's over $745,000. With the 10% rate of return, that's over a whopping $1.1 million. So I don't know how many of you guys sitting in the crowd out there that you're sitting in the meeting right now, you say, man, this is such a cool meeting. This little Asian guy, he's just so powerful. And then now you feel so bad because you're holding a $10 Starbucks coffee that's costing you $1 million in the future. Did you know in America there's over close to 24 million people who are millionaires? And did you know most of the millionaires in America are simple people who save up over time, a month in, month out with discipline? You do not have to own a business to have $1 million. You can be your normal Joe out there that has a normal job, but you're diligently living below your means, not keeping up with the Jones. You can have $1 million. Do this for yourself. For 7 days, write down every single thing you spend. $1 here, $2 there, $5 there, and you will figure out that you spend more than $500 a month on junk. Okay? Coffee's simple. Just go to the office and get coffee. It might not be as good, but it's okay. You just need a little coffee, right? So let's go through here. Let's talk about inflation, the silent killer on money. You know, I tell people all the time, inflation, you can't control inflation. Is that right? You can go to the gas station. You can yell at it. You can yell at the pump. You can punch. Don't punch the pump. You can do what you want with the pump. It ain't going to change. I always tell people inflation is something that you cannot control. So let's talk about inflation a little bit. The average cost of living. $23,000. In the 1990s is $123,000. Today, a new home average, $535,000. And this is not for Californians. And this is not for my New Yorkan friends or my New Jersey friends or my Floridians. Okay? $535,000. Gallon of gas, $3.43. A loaf of bread, which I have no idea, is that one loaf or the whole thing? I have no idea. I don't buy loaf of bread. $1.54. What about this? Wages, $65,000. So here's my question for you. Is our wages keeping up with inflation or we're falling behind? Do you think that dollar raise is really helping you? You're so excited for that 50-cent raise that you go and you call your wife and say, babe, I got a raise. We got a raise. Let's go and celebrate today. Get all the kids in the car. We're going to go eat something good tonight. You deserve it. You supported me all these years. And you went out there, you spent all this money on dinner, Darren, and then you calculated, said, that's my entire raise for the whole year. So ask yourself this question, is it worth it? Take a look. Is my money, my earning power able to keep up with what? Inflation. Let's take a look at that $100. If you had $100, 5 years from now, the buying power will decrease to $86. So it's equivalent to paying $116. 10 years, drops to $74. 15 years, $64. 20 years later, it's almost half. You know, I look at this as, it's like you putting a $100 bill under your pillow. 1 year later, Kevin, I think my brother Kevin's on the call here, my other half. Not my other half, but you know the other half. The shorter version of Dewey. You pull out the $100 a year later. Honorata, you look at it. Angie, you look at it. It looks the same. It feels the same. It smells the same. And maybe it'll taste the same. You can do that. But it cannot buy the same thing anymore. That's inflation. Very simply put. So today, if you retire today's dollars at $4,000, you will need the equivalent of $7,224. Now, talk about this section right here, understanding taxes. You know, this is where, Catherine, I see the wealthy understand taxes and the poor middle America does not understand taxes. So there's 3 tax buckets here in America. The first one is called tax now. Tax now means that, you know what, you're going to pay tax on it every single year. These are your checking, savings, CD, stock account, mutual fund account. Every time you make a gain that year, Uncle Sam is sending you a bill. Okay, that's tax now. Tax later means that, you know what, I'm going to go work for a company. I got maybe a 401k, 403b, I got an IRA, I got a SEP IRA. I have some type of annuity, pension, or qualified plan. I'm putting the money in, it's before tax dollars. So I'm not going to get to see it. They take it out before that time. And every single year it's growing, it's tax deferral. So all the tax I was supposed to pay, it stays in the account. But guess what? When you hit 59 and a half years old is when you can access your money. Is that right? After 59 and a half, you can access it, but you have to pay taxes on what? Dollar per dollar on every single withdrawal that you do. And is it at today's dollars or at future rates dollars? Which one? Future rate. So let me ask you a question. Do you think taxes are going to go up or down right now? It's going to go up. So no matter what political views you have, it doesn't matter. One thing is one. Taxes are going to have to go up so we can bring this national debt down. Either that or government stops spending, which I don't see that happening. Is that right? So tax now, tax later, or tax advantage. Structured properly, Roth IRA. For Roth IRA, we have 529 college savings for children's education. We have municipal bonds, but the problem with municipal bonds is that the rate of return is very low. We have health savings account, HSAs, but that's for your savings for health usage. And then you got your life insurance, cash value, and long-term care benefits. So a lot of wealthy people understand the benefits of life insurance cash value. There's a lot of benefits in the tax advantage. You know, this is how I look at Apple, is that, you know, in this country, the tax system is very simple. The poor does not make enough money to pay taxes. The wealthy pay very little taxes because we have a lot of tax deductions. It's middle America that pays taxes for the poor and the wealthy. They have the least tax breaks. You have to understand taxes because why? It has a big impact on your money. It is important to build your financial future. You must understand all of this is a holistic approach coming together. Now, in talking about this, I want to talk about managed growth strategy. You know, I look at this as that many times we have 401ks, we have IRAs, we have mutual fund, we got stock account, we got all these accounts. But this is something you have to ask yourself, does my account offer these benefits right here? So let's take a look. Number one is that you have to have growth. These are the rules, 4 of them, 4 boxes. Number one, you have to have your rate of return must be high enough to beat what? Taxes and inflation, like I shared you earlier. What was the magical number, guys? Remember? 5% and higher. Now that you have growth in your account, you have to have what we call safety. You have to manage risk and preserve your principal. Because as we know, we live in a global economy. Is that right? Whatever happens halfway across the world has an effect on us here. So anyone, if a president or anyone gets on stage and they say something bad, what happens to the market? It rattles. Just like right now, this trade tariff and all these things going on, one day we're up 500 points, the next day we're down 400 points, next day we're up 1,000 points, next day we're 300 points down. It is an emotional deal. So, but to me, this is your money, and would you agree with me that you have to take control of your money? So you have to find a way that you have to manage risk and protect your principal. Because why? One day you retire, do you just want to retire because you're praying that hopefully my account is up? That's not how you retire. You have to have a strategic plan on building your retirement nest egg. Number 3, you have to have tax deferred. Does it offer tax deferred, tax advantage vehicles that can play a significant role in building wealth? Or unless you just love Uncle Sam and you love taking care of everybody else that doesn't want to work, you can take care of them too. But to me, I feel like we pay our dues, but we also want to build our wealth because this is what the wealthy knows. The wealthy understand the tax system very well. And it's your responsibility to also understand the system too. What about last but not least is protect your income, which is one of the most important parts. I'm going to talk about protect your income, your assets. What about your life? And what about prepare for long-term care and critical illness or disability in the future? You know, this one right here, one of the very few countries in the world that you can go bankrupt because of medical bills. And it's not technically the medical bills, but it's technically laying in bed and you're not working and your job says, you know what, I know, Onyi, you've been working for us for 30 years. I know every time I tell you to get me coffee, you always get me coffee, but I'm so sorry. I pray for your family. I hope you get better, but we got to cut you. It's not my fault. It's corporate. And then they cut you. Laying in bed right there is a very dangerous thing because now you're thinking, how am I going to pay the mortgage? Because as we last check, our mortgage doesn't care about our illness. You call them up and you tell them, hey, I've gone through this right here. Can you give me a break? They say, I'm so sorry for you, but you know what? Nothing. If you don't pay, they take. This is why in this country, you got to protect yourself. These are the 4 boxes right here. When saving and investing, you got to consider all 4 boxes. Some of us have accounts out there that only protects growth. No safety. Very little tax advantage, 0 protection. Or some of you guys go out there, you buy protection, but they have no safety, no growth in it, and very little tax advantages. Do you have all 4 of these? So in talking about building your future, I take a look at this right here. When building a house, can you imagine, Angie? You build a home. Picture this, everybody. You build a home, your carpenter, your electrician, your plumber working on your house does not work with each other. they don't communicate with each other, they don't work with each other, how would your home look like? A disaster. It would look like the left side. That's like your financial home. Your financial home is why our banker, our investment advisor, our life insurance agent, all three of them don't work with each other. The insurance guy just wants to sell you an insurance policy. The investment guy wants to sell you investment and not consider your life insurance needs. The banker is trying to get you to open these CDs, more bank accounts, but doesn't care about your life insurance, debt, or anything else. You have to have what we call a holistic approach in looking at your finances. So I asked yourself this question over here. If you look right here, the guy on the left side right here, which one do you like? Do you want to look like this? Or do you want to look like that? Which one do you want to look like? You want to look at this one over here. These two look a lot happier because whenever your home's in shambles like this, you have no idea what's going on. It's question mark. Man, if we have an accident tomorrow, if I lost my job tomorrow, I have zero emergency fund. I'm worried, Bong, is that right? So your home is very confusing. We always tell families out there that building your financial future is one brick at a time. Just like they say, to build a wall, do you build a wall with what? One brick at a time. Just like building your financial future, it's one brick at a time. But as long as you do this, you can have this holistic approach and you can build a very strong financial foundation. Now, coming in closing, how do you build this financial foundation? Well, we have what we call, you need a financial checkup. How many in the room here today, you have to do a physical checkup every year? Is that right? Every year you got to do a physical checkup. You go see your doctor. You go see your doctor, Lakia, you go see your doctor does blood work, do all this blood pressure, and they say, okay, hey, your cholesterol's a little high, you're having a little too much fun, your blood pressure's up a little bit, chill out a little, before I put you on meds. I'll see you in 6 months. So 6 months later, she does another lab work. She has one lab work to compare to the next one, and she can tell if she's done better or what? Worse. See, the most problem right here, Obi, is people do not know where my money is. Where is my money going to? So you have to do a financial checkup. Where is my money going? Number one, you got to know your concerns because you cannot solve anything if you do not know what the problem is. Is that right? So what are my concerns? Number two, we're going to put it on paper, but here's the one is that you have to also set your goals to it because there's short-term, mid-term, and there's long-term goals. You got to have your goals. You have to have your concerns because money is all it is a mathematical formula. If you make more money and you spend more of it, if you make money and you spend more than you make, that's financial destruction. But if you bring in money and you spend less than you make, then you can start building wealth. But most of us have never wrote it down on paper. I'm not even telling you to do financial softwares. Those are, I think to me, overall they're okay, but to really know your finances, you got to get down to the nitty gritty. Husband and wife have to work on this together. You will be amazed when you do this financial worksheet right here. Ask the trainer, ask the person who invited you, hey, I need one of those financial checkups. And by the way, it's free. There's no obligation. If you feel that you need something, then we'll have a solution to put in place. But for now, you need to know what's going on. Is that right? We got to pay attention to it. If you have a will, we can provide the vehicle. Financial security is not a dream. It is a family's number one priority. Now, on another note, ask yourself this question. Is your current situation right now is going to allow you to reach your goals? Let's say you're 55 years old. You don't have a 401k. You have no retirement plan. You'd have to save over $5,000 plus a month to hit a goal of $1 million. How many people can put an extra $5,000 away? Not very many. So you have to ask yourself, what I'm doing right now, is that going to help me and my family reach our goals? If the answer is no, you know what you need to do? you need to consider making extra income on a part-time basis. I'm so sorry, but driving your car and Uber making $50 for the ride and you only get $12 is not going to cut it. Going out there, selling something little here and there, that's not going to cut it. Why not join us in our financial literacy campaign? In the financial, I've always learned something. Money is in the money business. Money's not in the food business. Food always spoil. Fashion goes out of fashion. Is that right? But I always found out something. Money always is green. It's always green. That's why we have a green jacket, okay? And by the way, you want one of these green jackets, okay? Money's always green. So maybe this is something that you might want to consider. You say, well, Dewey, I believe in financial education. I believe if I know something good, I would love to share it with others. And if I share it with others, I can make money doing it. Ask the person who invited you here to talk about the real opportunities in it. I was able to leave my restaurant business 27 years ago. And we have many people from all walks of life in this company, nurses, registered nurses, physical therapists, doctors, lawyers, business owners, housewives, students that has gone and become very successful in the financial industry and become a financial educator with us. And if you're in a financial center right now, some of those guys you're looking at right now, I know some of them, they just look like a normal dude, but you have no idea they have a very strong financial foundation. So, for your time here today, first of all, give yourself a big hand for being here today. So what will happen now is that we have our survey card. Okay? I have one in Spanish. ¿Qué pasó? Mucho bueno. Okay? I have one in Spanish. This survey card right here, from what I share with you today, we would love to know and get your feedback. Tell us a little bit about how the financial markets or the economy has affected you and your family. You'll check out yes or no on this side. And on the right side, we would like to know what you're interested in learning about. If you're interested in learning about one of our financial solutions, Dewey, how do we do this tax-free, tax advantage thing? I'd like to learn about that. Put down, I want to learn about financial foundation. Dewey, I'm a dad. My wife stays at home. I'm the only breadwinner, and I'm concerned if something happens to me, who's going to take care of them? Then mark down here, you want to learn about building a financial foundation. Or you might say, well, Dewey, you know what? Finance is okay. I feel good. But you know what? I like this financial literacy thing. I want to make extra money on a part-time basis. I like to share it. I want my kids to get involved in it. Then you want to check off that you want to be in the business on a part-time basis. Because either way, one or two, or you can do both of the above. And there's a third one on there. It says, I don't want to do anything. I'm good with it. And that's okay too. Or maybe you say, well, you know what, I want to learn about your workshops. Then write it in there and get with the person who invited you. Go to one of our free workshops. We have them every Monday through Friday, 1 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m. Central Time, except for Wednesday night. And you can go to a workshop and you can go many times until you say, hey, you know what? I want to learn about this. But whatever you do, doing nothing is not an option. Bill Gates said this: if you were born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, it is all your fault. So for your time here today, my name is Zui Trum from the great Dallas Central Financial Center here in Dallas, Texas. I'm a proud world system builder. We look forward to seeing you at one of our offices and our GX and our summit that's coming up, our financial literacy that's coming up. Talk to the person who invited you, get with the person who invited you. And guys, everyone, have a great night out there. So we're signing off from Dallas, Texas. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. All right. Good night, everybody. See everyone later. Look at Oprah. Fire there. I see that. I see Regina. You Galleria.
Hello, from
Hello,
Canada.
Regina. All right, welcome. Have a great night in Houston. Houston's on it right now. Beautiful. Atlanta Financial Center, Live Oak Financial Center, Baton Rouge, Jacksonville. So as you can see, it's all across.
Good job, Zoe. Great job.
All right, good night, everybody. We'll see. If you miss something, you can
I
join
see.
us
So
in
you
2
don't know.
hours, okay?
Yeah.
Great job, everyone.
One team, one dream, one system, one cause.
Cause.
Record.